we're done with our hands as far as hanging on to things for the most part. So handstand push-ups. Handstand push-ups, pretty much like everything that we've done today other than double unders, do have a prereq, ideally, of being able to do strict handstand push-ups. But we are CrossFitters and we try to do things fast and efficiently. So we are going to be going over Kipping handstand push-ups today. A few other requirements, the most obvious being you have to be comfortable kicking up into a handstand against the wall. From being comfortable kicking up to a handstand, you need to have the ability to hold yourself and support your weight over your head for a certain amount of time, for at least 20-30 seconds. So you should have the ability to do that. That requires some mobility. So along with strength, you do need to have the mobility to keep a locked out, stacked position with our head through and not here or here. We really need to have that overhead mobility. So strength, mobility, along with being able to hold our body weight over our head. What's the next most obvious thing we need to be able to do?
Get back down.
Press our body. We have to be able to press our body weight over our head. So also in a perfect world, you should be able to press a certain percentage of your body weight over your head. Again, the kipping motion helps take some of that out of the equation. So, yes.
Is there a standard percentage that they say?
75% of your body weight.
For strict or kicked?
Strict.
Okay.
Thank you for asking.
Because like a strict press, you're going way down here.
Yeah, it's different.
Handstand push-up versus for gears here.
Well, yeah.
So this is more just like tricep.
Yeah. So strength, mobility, those are sort of the things that are required to be able to do a handstand push-up or even attempt it. Ben is going to be my demo guy. Let's talk about a few things. He's not going to skate out of this without doing anything. You guys have been working hard all day. All right, so come in closer so you can see his hands and everything that's happening here. So there are some things.
Good luck at my vertical while I do this.
Some key points here are where he's going to place his hands when he is against the wall. So that'll be the first thing you want to focus on when you're doing your handstand. Hold against the wall. If your hands are too close, you're going to fall off. If they're too far away, you're going to get this really crazy overextended position. So Ben is going to kick up for us. So that's typically the width for Ben where he would want to do a handstand push-up. Ben, come on down. So typically we see one of the first mistakes is people try to put their hands really close together, and that's gonna make your range of motion longer. If your hands are a little bit wider, then you've got a shorter range of motion. Ben's gonna show me a rep where he's gonna kick up to the wall with his hands too close, and it's gonna force him to come back down because he's too close to the wall. So he's going to actually fall off the wall when he comes back down because he's too close, and that's gonna make it really hard for him to get into that position. So the next thing that needs to happen after you've kicked up, handstand push-up is a movement where it's full compression to full extension. And that means we look like this in the bottom and this in the top. Looks a lot like a, yes. So you need to be able to also get into that position. Ben is going to demo one handstand push-up for us. So he's gonna come to full compression, his butt's on the wall, and he's gonna kick up and press. Go ahead and come back down. So you can see he created a lot of momentum with his hips. We did that with pull-ups. We did that with toes to bar. So another common theme there. The more momentum you create, the more weightless you become. If you try to do that too soon, if you try to press too soon before you pop your hips, it's gonna make it really hard and it's gonna become a strict motion. So you have to make sure you're creating that pop of the hips and then press. So another thing that happens in the handstand push-up, sometimes our feet kick up out against the wall, and that causes us to either stop momentum or fall off the wall. So, yes, so first he's gonna show us one where he kicks the wall and it stops the momentum. And that's what happens. It made it really hard for him to press all the way out, because he's kicking back and it's stopping. So you want to kick up in a straight motion. So the other thing that would happen is if he were to come down in his rep and his feet were too far in front, it's going to cause him to come forward in the rep, and he's not going to hit the wall, and that's what's going to happen. So you want to be stacked here, and you also want to be stacked when you're in the bottom fully compressed. So straight is always the fastest route to anywhere. And that's what you want to think about, kicking straight, not out, not in. Make sense? All right. There's a few things that we can do if we're not at that point. So we can work on doing a slow negative. So Ben would kick up to the wall. Maybe you're a little bit nervous about getting your head to that mat. So you could just slowly lower yourself and come right back down. Looks really simple, right? But a lot of people get really nervous to do that because they're like, oh my God, I'm lowering myself to my head. But that will help you get comfortable lowering yourself to that position. And that's one of the things that my group's gonna do today that has none. You guys are gonna do a slow negative. The other thing you can do if you have one, you can kick up to the wall, do a slow negative, and kick right back to your next rep. So that's going to help you build some time under tension, making you stronger for the movement as well. If you have none of that whatsoever, Ben's gonna get upside down for us just a little bit more. So you see this is mimicking what he looks like when he's upside down. He's gonna press his head to the floor. Go ahead and come out in there, Ben. And then one step further from there, we're gonna be just here doing a strict seated press with a 3, 2, 1 press. These are all really great ways to get you stronger, to build that strength in that overhead position. Cool? All right, so, yes.
One of the things I shoot all the time for kipping handstand push-up is that with kipping handstand push-up when in that tripod position, you want your low back on the wall. So that's, if you just try to like come down like it'd be like a freestanding handstand push-up like out the floor, it's really hard. People like are like trying to find your balance point to kick up from there. But as soon as you get your butt on the like low back against the wall, so that's your third balance point is right here. You just want your low back against the wall. Versus if you're out here, you're like, where do I go? But here you really have a little bit of support to pick up from there. So that's one thing, is that it helps provide a little bit of extra balance. Another thing is for that pike handstand push-up. A lot of people end up being in more like a push-up position where they're open here and it's just a lot of people think they're in a good position here and they end up doing just a regular push-up. Versus having their hips way up, bringing the hands closer to the box. So now you're in an L position and then pressing up and back with your nose going towards the box as you press up.
And that really does give you the stimulus of being upside down if you're afraid of being upside down. I don't know, I think I've seen almost everybody here upside down, but there's some fear there, so you have to be able to kind of get past that. So that's definitely helpful too.
Also do that from your knees if you want.
Yeah, you can do it from your knees. You need a barbell and a kettlebell that you can strict press. 3, 2, 1, go.